Hey guys. All right, so this is my Sunday night wrap up on Tuesday morning, and I just wanted to. I know I haven't been on for a couple of weeks, but my dad had knee surgery. I'm an only child, which means it's my job to go help care for him, and he's really stubborn, and so it is what it is. But I'm coming to you from our home office. So my husband and I share the office, hence the guitar, because he's our worship leader at our church. So the last 3 weeks, we've been doing a series on relationships. Um, we first did God, and then we did parents, and this past week was others. So the first one was our relationship with God. We started by playing Trainwreck, which was super fun. And I actually preached that morning at my dad's church for him, and then drove the 2 hours home. Did Sunday night youth with the same sermon that I did Sunday morning. And so um, after we played Trainwreck, we played a screen game, and that was Real or Fake Olympic countries. That's what it was. Real or Fake Olympic countries. Some of them were pretty funny because the kids really thought they were Olympic countries or like real countries, but it was like Genovia off of Princess Diaries or Arendelle off of oh my gosh, Elsa and Anna. Bleh, whatever that movie is. Oh my gosh, that's gonna drive me bananas. But anyway, um, so it was all these different countries. Some of them were Disney countries, and it totally messed my kids up. It was awesome. I loved it. I love anything that makes them go, "What? That's not real, huh?" So yeah. So we did real or fake. Like, is your relationship with God real or fake? Like, do you have the fruit, or are you just going to church to be like a polished apple? Um, so we talked about that. And that came out of the book of Matthew. And I started with John the Baptist and how he told the Pharisees right from the beginning, like, you are not real. Like, your fruit doesn't say you are who you say you are. And then I went in to Jesus, and I said in the Sermon on the Mount, I said, if you were thinking it was just to the Pharisees, to the church leaders, that's not true. It was to us too, the regular people. And so I talked about how Jesus talked about our fruit in the Sermon on the Mount. And then last week was Valentine's Day week because we do ours on Sunday instead of Wednesday. So Valentine's week, we played Family Feud Valentine's Edition. It was the free game on Download Youth Ministry for the month of February. I hope you did it. I hope you played it. It was awesome. My kids loved it, and we didn't just stop like once somebody got to 200 points. Like, we played all of them, and it was amazing. And it took like a half an hour because some of my kids is crazy. But it's okay. It's okay. I loved it. I thought it was great. My boys won, which was funny. But they won on the last question. So, and we talked about parents. And I took a one-off message out of DYM called How to Train Your Parents. And so that's what we talked about. So if you don't have that resource, it was really, really good. I did rework a couple of things, but if you don't rework something, like, you're just jacking somebody else's stuff. Like, did you even study? But anyway, so we did parents, and we did How to Train Your Parents. And something that I've started doing every Sunday night after youth, when I come home, I come and I sit in my office and I do a wrap up video. I put it on Snapchat, and it is really hard to take a 20-minute message, 20-minute message, and turn it into a Snapchat video that's like a minute. It's real hard. So anyway, so we talked about training your parents, and I came home and I did a wrap up video by sitting on my desk in my office and just saying, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we did tonight because see um, we play a game and then we do a message and then my kids want to play like hide and go seek, which I'm gonna hit on that in a minute. But um, and so the message is kind of in the in between middle part, and so sometimes I feel like they don't get it. But the wrap up has been really good, and we've seen a lot of kids have said that they really liked it, or that they got something out of that they didn't get out of the message, even though I said the same thing. But whatever. And we've had parents like show it to their other kids and say, hey, I know you're not old enough for youth, but you're old enough to listen to this. And we've had college students that have responded back because I'll just put it on my story, and then like I send it to all the kids in our youth group and their parents. But we've had other people like comment on it and say, "Wow, this is awesome. I never thought about this," or "Hey, I'm struggling in this area, and I'm glad you talked to your youth about it because I needed that." We've had a couple college students do that. So, and then this week we did relationship with others. So we played Head, Shoulders, Knees, Cup, which was awesome. And I thought my kids were going to think it was dumb. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. They loved it. They absolutely loved it. And at the end, we had a group of 3 instead of an even number, instead of like 2. So I put all 3 of them together, and the only boy that was in that group won. And he was like, I am the champion, which is kind of funny. So, and then we played Hum That Tune. My kids hated it. Probably never going to play it again. And then we went into the message on others. Okay, so I tried to talk about our relationship with others by talking about setting boundaries. I called or Facebook messaged 2 of my best friends growing up, and I asked them how they decided to set boundaries with me. Because when my friends and their friends started to change, our boundary, they set boundaries on when they hung out with me. And so I talked about that. And I talked about best friends. And then I went into relationships and I said, hey, here's the thing with relationships. You need to set boundaries beforehand. And I talked about 2 Timothy 2:22 that says to run from anything that stimulates youthful lust, or in some translations it says youthful passions. And so after reading it and doing some research, I have come to the conclusion that it's not only boundaries like in your like sex life, but it is boundaries in your life in general. If it is going to lead you away from God, you need to set boundaries so that whatever that is pulls you back to Him instead of pulling you away. So we talked about that. We talked about setting boundaries, and I kept going from friendship to relationship, in and out of those things, because I have some precious little middle school babies, like little middle school baby girls. And I don't know if you have precious little middle school baby girls like I have precious little middle school baby girls. But I'm sorry, my headband was going crazy and it was getting on my nerves, so I gotta fix this real quick. But my little middle school baby girls, bless them, like, they are perfect. They are precious. They don't ever do anything wrong. They don't date. They don't understand those things. So for me, because I have those, and then I have my boys that call themselves the light skins, and so I have like this giant gap, right? But so I try to talk about maybe you have to set your boundaries with your friends in a way that I said maybe you don't need friends that cuss. Some of my precious little middle school girls don't need those types of friends in their lives, which I would say that all of my kids do, but being able to pull it back to that, So I went there, and then I said, or maybe you need to have a boundary on kissing, or how far you're willing to go with a person of the opposite sex. Like, so even though my precious middle school girls don't need this right here, right now, like the whole sex part. And when I said sex, one of my high school boys said, "Oh my gosh, she just said the S word in church." Y'all, if we're not talking about it in church, where are they going to get it? Most of the times their parents aren't talking to them about it. They don't care what they do. So, yeah, I totally busted out the S word, and they were all like, "Ugh." It's okay though. It's fine. Whatever. But yeah, so talking about their relationships, and so in the car, I asked my husband. I was like, "So, how do you think it went?" You know, and at the end, we broke out them by themselves, and I said, "All right, I want you to spend some time by yourself with you and Jesus." My husband got up and just strummed the guitar a little bit. And I said, I want you to just pray to him and ask him what boundaries you need to set in your life. Ask him what you need to change. Like, there are some things in your life that probably aren't where they need to be with you and God. And you need to take this time to work it out. My high school girls, oh, bless them. One of them came up afterwards and was like, "I really needed that. I really needed that time to just sit with God and say, what do you want me to do? What do I need to do to grow closer to you?" So, after that, they wanted to play sardines / hide and go seek. Hadn't been a big deal till this week, when I thought I was going to kill them. When my husband came outside and said, "Ariel, like, I was in the parking lot doing the youth pastor parking lot thing. You need to come in here for a minute." And I walk in, there's candy everywhere. They have taken candy from my office. It is all over the church. Like, I make everybody go to the fellowship hall. I break bad. I was so mad. They had to go through the whole church. I said, "I'm locking you inside. You're not allowed to leave until it's all cleaned up." Now, I thought it was all cleaned up until Monday morning when I get an email from the church secretary saying there was all this candy in the sanctuary. I didn't look in the sanctuary before we left. Yeah, Mr. Harold went in. He found it all. He was very mad, very upset. I had to email the church secretary and say, "Please tell I'm gonna apologize to him." Crap. But I just want to let you know, like, this has been taken care of. Like, they're not allowed to play that game now until, I feel like they've matured a little bit. And they're not going to throw crap all over the church, because that's not okay. So, yeah. So, it's bad. It was bad. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but other than it was bad. Like, there were crushed up Smarties on the hardwood floor in my office. Seriously, guys. Seriously. But here's okay. As mad as I am or was about that situation, here's the thing. The reason there's all this issue is because our youth group has, like, doubled in size in the last 3 months. So some of these kids have no idea, like, how to treat our place. They have no idea, and they don't understand the concept of church. And some of them understand it in the context of our church has a fellowship hall and has a sanctuary, but we don't have anything else. And the church that we're in for our student ministry definitely has 3 floors with tons of classrooms and space and whatnot. It doesn't have a gym. Lord, I wish it had a gym. We could do so much more, and my kids would not be crazy and would not be, we wouldn't have to stand up in chairs and fix the ceiling tiles every week at the end of the night because a ball hit them and they popped up. Some things like that wouldn't be happening. if we had a gym, if we had more space. But we don't, so we have to use the fellowship hall. And yeah. Okay, so something interesting is also coming down the pipe for us, and that is I've been approached by the educational committee head from the Methodist Church who runs their youth program, which is the Methodists and Presbyterians get together and they do youth together. And I've been approached by them to come on with them, and we do one giant youth ministry next year. I say giant. No, not giant. Bigger than what we are. Okay. And they'll provide some of their own volunteers, which is fantastic. Fantastic, because we are lacking in volunteers. But we get the kids. And they have the volunteers, but they don't get the kids. So, our town is a very small town. It is Virginia's only lakeside town. Our high school only has like 600 kids in it. Okay, for the entire, like, half of our county, we have like 600 kids. So, when you think about that, you have to understand that, that even if we were to get, like, all the kids from the county, or our side of the county, because we have 2 schools, if we were to get all the kids from our side of the county, we still wouldn't be as big as some of, like, the megachurch youth groups. And so like, some megachurches are bigger than our entire county, because we live in a rural area. And yeah, we have a town, but we don't have like a Walmart. Like, we have to drive a half an hour to get to a Walmart, which is fine. I mean, we have a good grocery store. We have a CVS. We have 2 Dollar Generals. One's a Dollar General Market. Apparently they added food to Dollar General. It's interesting. Whatever it is, what it is. So, and we have a lot of specialty stores, especially during the summer, the lake lifeness. We live lake life here. So that's one thing. Like, when we're going to combine our youth group, we combined in everything. Like, the Lenten lunch this week, tomorrow, is at the Catholic Church. It will be at, I think, the Methodist Church next week. So, and Holy Week, we do lunch somewhere every day. And it might be the Catholic Church, the Presbyterian Church, the Episcopal Church, our church, the Methodist Church. I mean, so we gather together a lot. And I know a lot of churches don't gather ecumenically, but we do. And so, so in the fall, we're going to add this other ministry into ours, and we're going to become one youth ministry for the entire town. I'm excited about this because we get volunteers. I'm scared about this because if we start growing even more, I don't know where we're going to go. Our space will technically hold 150 people. Technically. But that means we would have to redo chairs and tables every single week. Like we already move things around and use different tables, and I have to hide things that are breakable and that type of thing. But I'm talking, like, if we did 150 people, all the tables will have to come down, all the chairs will have to go out. Yeah, so that would be a lot. I don't know if we'll ever get there. I would hope we would, like, one day, but we'll see. But anyway, so we struggle with volunteers. The Methodist Church and the Presbyterian Church combined have volunteers, so we're gonna all come together in the fall, and hopefully we'll be able to do high school worship upstairs in what used to be called the youth room, but is now the children's worship room, that we use on Wednesday nights. And so hopefully they can start up there with worship, and then go to game time, and then a switch the game time and the worship with high schoolers. So, or we might do high school worship first, game time second. That way, the middle schoolers, you know, just the chain of how things go in middle school brain. But anyway, so that's what I'm hoping we're going to be able to do. Because if we can, that would be amazing. And I feel like with our space, it would be a better use of our space anyway. We can't go upstairs right now because safety wise, I'm not okay leaving a basement door unlocked and being on the third floor. That's not okay. And so we don't use that upstairs at all. And when my husband and I do play games with them and we are outside of the fellowship hall, like the door's locked. Like we don't leave anything, like people can't just walk in. And so safety wise, we have to do everything in the fellowship hall just because of logistics with safety. So I know this was super, super long. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. I'm going to do another one just talking about something that we had happen. Okay. See you guys. Bye.